Okay, so what we're going to try to do here is build a trolling bar using only basic tools. I've got a skill saw, a chop saw that I bought at a yard sale, and you could use a regular drill, but I'm going to use my drill press just because I got a drill press. But you can do all these drills using a regular drill. I'm using 1.5 inch aluminum bar that I got at a salvage yard. I've already got it marked for my holes. And this is 3/4 by 2.5 solid aluminum bar. And we're going to drill it, put all the taps in it. Should be a good looking bar when we're done with it. But we're going to use all basic tools. I'm not going to weld it. Normally I'd weld this, but I'm not going to weld it. Altogether, I'm going to have about $50 in the whole project. Alright, let's get it done. All I'm using to cut this aluminum with is just an old miter box with a carbon tooth blade. As long as you go slow, it'll cut a nice clean cut. You can also use a skill saw or a bandsaw. Now we got our aluminum cut to the lengths we want. This is going to be the bases. They're 8.5 inches. So first thing you need to do is find the center. They're 2.5 inches wide. What I'll do is I'll drill the holes to put these bolts through. First, I always like to use a smaller bit than the actual big hole I'm drilling, especially if you're drilling something 1/2 inch or bigger. I'm going to go ahead and use this drill press and punch it through. The reason for drilling that smaller hole is just makes it easier when you move up to the right size bit. This bit takes out so much more material. And you'll see just how easy it is drill. Perfect. I could have drilled it all with one pass, but this just gives me a lot cleaner hole. Okay, the holes have been marked right in the center. And a trick to doing this is where I'm going to drill these holes and I'm going to tap them out. I'm going to drill a smaller hole than necessary to start with, just because it's easier to take out the material. I'll drill it a little bit deeper than what I actually need to tap it, probably 1/2 inch. And what that does, when you go to tap it, all the shavings will fall down to the bottom of the hole and not get caught in your tap. And it just gives you a lot cleaner tap when you're doing it. Okay, let's get this started. Now we'll put the proper size in it for the tap and go ahead and drill it. You see, when I drilled the hole, I drilled it actually deeper than what I need to tap it. And like I say, that reason for that is that way when you're tapping it, all the little shavings will fall to the bottom for the most part, and they'll get trapped in the bottom below where you're going. That way it keeps them from sucking up into your tap and damaging the threads that you're cutting. Okay, we've cleaned up the parts that we made. We finished tapping the holes. You see how good that looks? Right in the center, or reasonably close. We drilled a hole through our bottom plates. But what we done, now this is the key part here. Since we're gonna bolt it, what I done was I took a grinder. I dropped the bolt down in there first, marked where the sides of the bolt was, took a grinder, cut a little slot. That way when the bolt drops in there, the bolt is locked. It can't turn. See? So then all you gotta do is thread your bases on. Like that. Alright, we've got them cleaned up. I went ahead and screwed these all the way on. And you can see the bolt's flush with the bottom. I can use this to crank it down and crank it on there. Turned out real nice. You could pull a dump truck with that if you wanted to. There's the two legs. Pretty easy to do, and they're pretty solid. If you want to make this bar taller, of course, if you want to make it, 2 feet tall, let's say, what I would do is I'd put another bar coming off of this, make this back leg just a little bit longer, maybe an extra 5-6 inches, and then just put me a piece of stainless or something, lay it right on top of the bar once you bolt it on, because your other bar is going to be bolted just like this through here. So you can put something under it or put something over top of it under this bolt, run an angle, and it would brace it. But I don't think it would be necessary. No fish is going to pull it unless you're going to use it to pull a skier or something. Now we got our holes drilled for our legs. Drop the little 1/2-inch bolts right through there. Mount them on top. I'm going to go ahead and tap the holes for the rod bases in it, and then we'll have a completed rod bar. Okay, we got our rack built. Now what we need to do is lay out for all of our locations for our rods. Okay, we got our holes drilled. I'm going to use these. You see they drop right down there, but they leave the head sticking out. So I'm going to countersink them to where they'll be semi-flush. Here's an old trick I learned when you don't want to do hand tapping. Find you a nut or a piece of flat stock that's got the same threading in it. This is a 3/8/16 nut. Screw it on to where it's just barely sticking below it, like that. And what that does, it makes it where when you go to start it, you can lay it flat. Now we know the tap stand is straight up and down. And I know right now it's dead in line with the hole. That keeps you from starting crooked. If you start crooked, it never goes easy. So, and you just gotta remember to keep, once you get it started, see right now it's dead straight. Now I can back off the nut just a little bit and work it in. There you go. Just a quick tip. You can see how it works. You put the nut on there, it always holds it perfectly straight. Then you just, as you get it started, now once you get it started about a quarter of the way in, you can go ahead and back this nut all the way up and out of the way. And now you can go ahead and tap your hole. And you can also use this technique if you want to tap a hole a certain depth. Put a nut on it, and then when you cinch it down, it hits a nut, you're done. Just to recap, all we done was we cut our bases 8.5 inches, drilled a hole dead center to run a 1/2 inch bolt through. This is 1.5 inch solid bar. Drilled one hole in each end and tapped it to where a 1/2 inch bolt could go in. Right here, right there. Once you screw this in, you can see I slotted it so that the 1/2 inch bolt wouldn't turn. Drilled and tapped these holes. And you can see this way you don't even need rod bases. You just tighten them, put them in, tighten them down. You're done. Or if you wanted to, you could mount bases on it. You could put 15 across there, it wouldn't matter. Got to say, it turned out pretty nice. But after you tighten these up into this bolt here, set it on top of your bar, and then tighten this bolt up. Once you do that, it can't never go anywhere. I put 2 mounting holes on each side just to make it that little bit more strong. If you like this video, please subscribe. If there's anything you'd like for me to make, just put it in the comment section and I'll see what I can do. I appreciate you watching. I hope this helps somebody save a little money and build what they want.